People experiencing mental health issues are sometimes labelled as sick, broken, or mad, but peer support recognises those labels don't tell the full story. Emerge Aotearoa's Piki peer support program wants to change the way we talk about mental health in young people by using more unconventional methods of social care.
Intentional peer support differs in the sense that our peer supporters have been trained to use their own lived experience to help others rather than learning and studying from a clinical point of view, which then entails a more personal connection between the peer and the peer supporter.
In the memoir Madness Made Me, founder Mary O'Hagan lists diagnostic labels, windowless psychiatric wards and sedative prescriptions as some of the ways traditional healthcare providers treated people battling mental illness.
She answers all questions monosyllabic.
Manic depressive illness with genetic basis.
Preoccupied with thoughts. Hopefully medication will break the chain.
It's almost as if she resents having to come into an interview and speak about herself.
Clinical provides quite a few dangers in the sense that our peers sometimes don't feel validated and they feel like they're a standalone issue with what they're dealing with, and it quite often cannot be addressed in a personal way, and so it's very much based on how your brain works, how your hormones work, and when you're struggling mentally, that's not something that can be exactly helpful. Because it can be too much to process, and I believe that's the big danger.
Intentional Peer Support, or IPS, is a service peers can sign up for themselves. It keeps mental health as a conversation, not a consult, by referring to peers as peers, not patients, and replacing phrases like "what's wrong" with "what happened." 22-year-old Featherston resident Skylar approached the service for help in handling grief following her grandma's cancer diagnosis.
I think with Piki, compared to like more traditional mental health help, you meet kind of in the middle with someone. You don't constantly feel like you're being analysed by a professional. It's just having a chat with a friend. I've met my peer supporters at the beach, I've met them for coffee, just kind of anywhere that's like comfortable, casual, and they're really good with just working in with like me and where I'm at.
One of the ways peer supporters reframe tough chats is by taking fear out of their responses. When a person says they feel scared, weird, or even suicidal, it is the role of the supporter to sit with them in their feelings and not run to quick fixes.
So I went through a traumatic experience about 8 to 12 months before the Piki peer support job came out. I really struggled for a long time, and I just felt that peer support was what I needed in that time of need, and so that's what my care is based on, is just having that person alongside you when times are hard and to be validated in your feelings.
I've kind of noticed change with how I communicate with like friends and family, and just the way that just listening and not having to like always have an answer for something. Like I've definitely had moments with peer support where they didn't have an answer for everything, but they were still there. And I think that's the one thing that I've kind of taken away, is you can still be helpful without always knowing the answers or how to help.
Wairarapa DHB was at first sceptical when peer support launched in 2019.
The hesitation for Piki and peer support was huge, in the sense that our flyers hadn't even been brought out of their storage cupboard to a year after the launch had happened. And I was quite upset by this, because I could see the benefit of peer support, but obviously they couldn't, and so I had to work quite hard and really give them a perspective from personally rather than this is peer support. And then the relationship started to really build, so I'm thankful for that.
So does Wairarapa DHB now recognise peer support and refer people on to peer support workers?
Yes, yeah, we've seen a big intake and referrals from them, which I'm so happy about, because and all the feedback that they're receiving from peers that they're seeing, as well as being referred to us, is that it's working. It's great.
Peer supporters conduct fortnightly co-reflections, almost like group therapy, so they can look after themselves alongside their peers. In the past 4 years, Wairarapa alone has taken on 50 referrals with 2 peer supporters, including Hope.
So this is a great review that we got from a peer, which shows the contrast between our care and DHB mental health support. It reads, "My Piki peer supporter was amazing, and I really appreciated that she was there at the start when things were bad, but also stayed with me once things were improving. So different from the usual DHB approach of ditching clients as soon as they are a little bit better. Knowing she was there added some security for me to stop worrying about what if and focus on recovery and try new things."
For more information, visit piki.org.nz. Eli Franco, Local Focus.